Welcome back, mathematicians. Today we're going over factoring algebraic expressions. So before, what we did is we took 1/3 times x plus 5 and we expanded it. This is helpful sometimes for formulas. It really depends on what you're using the math for. But sometimes it's helpful to expand, and then sometimes it's helpful to factor. Factor is going backwards. So we factor algebraic expressions to simplify them into a more condensed form. And we can use a bar model to represent that. So I'm going to use a red and a blue plus black as my pencil. And we have 3x minus 9y. And I'm going to represent that with two different colors. My 3x is going to be in blue. And then I'm going to make this negative 9y. So as a bar model, if I have three x's, that just looks like x, x, x. And if I have negative 9y's, okay, I'm gonna add to that bar a negative y, another negative y, and I'm gonna do that 9 times. And now that I've got the 3x and the negative 9y's, or the 9 negative y's, what I want to do is I want to try and find a grouping, okay? So pull out groups. One way to do that is I say I have three x's. Let's see if I can form three groups of equal sets. So let's try an x, an x, and an x. Okay, so that kind of takes care of those three. And now let's put some y's in. So negative y, negative y, negative y. And let's put some more in. And you're going to keep putting them in until you don't have any left. And if you have an odd amount left, that means that maybe it's not three groups equal, maybe you have to do 4 groups or 5 groups. For this one though, they do match. So now that I have 3 sets of equal groups, I'm going to put a 3 on the outside because I have 3 groups of x and 3 negative y's, or we say negative 3y. So that's how we group. For example 2, you may have seen this before, but I'm going to show you a different type of way to factor the expression. So this method's called upside down division. And what you do is you draw an upside down division symbol, and you find a common factor to divide out of those. So this one is going to be 2. So if we take out a 2, we're going to put a 2 on the outside here, and we're going to divide each of these terms by 2. So 2 goes into 2 once, so I'm left with just x. 2 goes into negative 10, negative 5 times, so I'm left with 5, and y. Now, if I can't take anything else out, that means 2 was the largest number. So my final answer is going to be 2 times the quantity x minus 5y. So eventually, you'll get to more complex expressions where you're taking out variables and larger numbers. So I'm starting you off with an easier example of upside down division so you can get used to the process, and then eventually that process is going to make doing those problems a lot easier. My last example is on factoring out the negative. So we have negative 2x minus 3. Generally, we don't want to leave our first term as a negative number, so we're going to do upside down division again. So we draw the upside down division symbol, and because we don't like to start our terms, our expressions with a negative coefficient, we're going to take out a negative 1. And sometimes you can take out a negative 2 or a negative 3. Anything you can do to take out a negative number to make this positive. So when you take out a negative, negative 2 divided by negative 1 becomes positive 2x. The variables just kind of drop down. When you get into more complex math, you'll be able to take out a variable, just like in example 2. So you may have multiple variables that you can take out at the same time. And then we can take out negative 1 from negative 3. It becomes positive 3. So the best way to write that answer is just a negative on the outside and in parentheses 2x plus 3. Some people write it as this, negative 1 times 2x plus 3. This is the preferred method. Usually 1 times anything is the same, like 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 6 is 6. So we usually don't write the number 1, we just put the sign. So that would be the preferred way to show it. Both are technically correct. On the left side, you're going to factor these expressions. So the first one is 6a minus 18b, 8p minus 12q. Number 3 is negative 5x minus 3. And the last one is negative 8p minus 10q. You don't have to use a bar model if you don't want to. You don't have to do upside down division if this is something that you can do quickly in your head. I like doing upside down division because it shows me that there isn't anything else that I can take out, and it's helpful for what you're going to be doing in the future.